Hello, Namaste. Welcome to the show. This time, we are going to talk about Marshall Plan for Ukraine. As we know that in 20th century, US led the Marshall Plan for the reconstruction and recovery of Europe. Just like that, there is debate inside think tanks in transatlantic region about the reconstruction and recovery of Ukraine, just like that of Marshall Plan of 20th century. So many think tanks and writers are debating and writing about this new plan, the Marshall Plan for Ukraine, and it was generally debated in the German Marshall Fund. It's a think tank which deals with transatlantic issues. And in a report article written by Heather Colney, she highlighted few things about the German Marshall Fund, Marshall Plan for Ukraine. Number one, bipartisan congressional support for Ukraine. Full bipartisan congressional support for Ukraine. So Democrats and the Republicans in the House and Senate should 100% support the reconstruction and recovery of Ukraine despite any terms and conditions. Second, the reconstruction and recovery of Ukraine should be led by Ukrainian people in coordination with International Donor Agency that comes under the G7 countries, and European Union should be as the secretariat. Ukraine recovery reconstruction task force should be established that will oversee the infrastructure building, industrial development, energy, housing, and the main motive of this reconstruction and recovery plan has to be Ukraine's full integration to the European economic framework. So this report has been written from the transatlantic perspective, which limits the role of India and China. As long as the war will get into certain departure point, certain destination point, the reconstruction and recovery will be started. And not only European country plus US and Canada, even Asian countries like Japan, South Korea, China and India will also be interested. So this reconstruction and recovery plan should be free from any geopolitical ambition and geopolitical maneuverings. Whenever the two opposite ideological country come together in a platform, like let's say US and China, to reconstruct Ukraine, there might be some sort of geopolitical dissimilarities, like we saw during Second World War. After Second World War, in the Germany, the occupation of Soviets, French and British, including US, started giving to the rise of the Cold War. So the war should be stopped as soon as possible, and the reconstruction and recovery should be multilateral. The UN role should be widened, and India and China's interest should also be respected. Otherwise, the reconstruction and recovery will go under chaos. And next thing, the reconstruction and recovery of Ukraine should also integrate civil society organizations and city municipal council, because we know that since 2014, after the annexation of Crimea, civil society, CSO organization in Ukraine has been the powerful and influential watchdog in releasing reports of human rights violation, atrocities. So there should be a clear position for Ukrainian civil society organization also. We know that in this ongoing Russia-Ukraine crisis, everyone has their own interest and everyone wants to achieve its interest at any cost. The agricultural production, which is hugely damaged by this Russia-Ukraine crisis, should be reformed as soon as possible, should be restarted as soon as possible, because the Russia-Ukraine crisis led to the desupply of fertilizer, chemical fertilizer, and emerging threats of food security has already been seen in Africa, in the Sahel region. So, first one is, at conclusion, the first one is Ukrainian reconstruction and recovery should be led by Ukrainian people with the assistance of international donor community. In this recovery and reconstruction, the Europe and America must have a clear position on India's and China's role. Then the full objective of this reconstruction, this Marshall Plan, is to integrate in Europe, that what it said should be in regards with Russia. Otherwise, if the reconstruction and recovery happens or perceived by Russia as a threat, then there will be again a difficult situation. And finally, the streamlined direct benefit transfer should be launched so that the more vulnerable people, Ukrainian people, should get the benefits in a short-term platform as a recovery help, and in a long term, the policy and planning should be made. Yes, the Ukraine needs a Marshall Plan, and the Marshall Plan should not be again a bargaining chip for the world's powerful countries. Thank you so much.